So this first one's called Crazy, or alternately titled Some Shit I Found on Yahoo Answers Mental Health category, don't ask why I was there. Question. Are crazy, mentally ill people aware of their insanity, or do they think they're normal? I'll let that sink in a bit. Now, I could break this down word for word, but I'm so goddamn tired of it. I'm so goddamn tired of picking myself apart for those so willing to demonize and tear me down. So many think the abuse is in the past, with the asylums, with the straitjackets, the lobotomies, all that romanticized bullshit neurotypicals love to shove in our faces at every given opportunity. Halloween season, gotta love it. The stereotype is that you're only truly crazy, only really insane when you're unaware of it. But I call bullshit. Crazy and insane only comes from their discomfort. It's a label that's about them, not us. I call bullshit, which should mean something considering my rather loose grip on reality most of the time, but it doesn't make me scary, just confused. It doesn't make me mean, just frightened. It doesn't make me my illness, it doesn't make me. So scrolling down the page, half of the questions on there are about suicide or depression, painless ways to go, easing oneself into the idea of an afterlife, how to break up with someone that's depressed because they are depressed. And I feel like shit because I wish that's all there was to this. I wish it was just sad. I wish it was just take deep breaths. I wish it was just it gets easier with time. Like I've never heard of taking a deep fucking breath in my entire life. Like every time I relapse, it doesn't feel like I'm burying myself several feet deeper into the ground. But at the same time, for some reason, I can't easily say that this has all been for nothing. There is something to this. Maybe I won't understand until I'm on my deathbed, however soon that may be. Maybe I've already figured it out and I just need some way to translate it to someone that can understand. Either way, I spent my adolescence mourning the person I knew I would never grow up to be. Even with all my dreams and aspirations, I always knew there'd be some piece missing, some thing I was apparently undeserving of. I spent so long trapped within my shame, that of which was placed upon me by a brutally toxic culture. A culture that prevented my dad from telling me that 2 weeks after his marriage to my mom, he found his father in the backyard shotgun shell through his head. That one that, until sending him my suicide letter, kept my dad from crying to me about how he has also thought about killing himself. That kept me from knowing that most of my uncles are on medication. That kept me from connecting with my aunt who has lived a successful life with severe bipolar disorder. A culture that has even kept me from opening up to professionals, too scared of the stigma that comes with psychosis. You know what? I think it's time for a little lesson. Psychopathic inferiority is an old broad term used to categorize anyone inherently socially undesirable in some way or another. Now typically referred to as personality disorders, demonized from the start or seen even by the professional world as violent soul-sucking subhumans without any regard for emotion or well-being of others. Some more so than others, we serve as the ultimate uncooperative evil in a mainstream capitalistic world. Bullshit like psychopathy and sociopathy are made into TV series wet dreams, while those with antisocial personality disorder are ostracized and abused by a system meant to help them. Schizophrenics are practically expected to be homeless or institutionalized rather than helped and nurtured. Borderline personality disorder, an outdated yet still popularly used term to describe a state between neurosis and psychosis, aggressively considered a lost cause to most clinicians, so much so that a whole new genre of therapy was developed for it. Bipolarity is reduced to depression, is reduced to sadness, is reduced to circumstance, is reduced to things could be worse, or you have it better than so many others, as if I don't already do that to convince myself I must be faking it. If anything, though, all of this struggle, all of the late nights, the telephone calls, those 2 times I was hospitalized, once in 8th grade, the other last February, those times, they helped me see that there's so much more to people than we could ever know. And there's so much more to me than I ever thought possible. There's so much more to crazy. That's one of my longer poems, but this one's shorter, and it's called Good. It was weird to return home last winter break for that one day, Christmas morning, and see a knife set in the kitchen that I thought my mom had gotten rid of years before. It didn't strike me until later that evening that it had been hidden from me. It shook me, I didn't expect it to, and I can't help but think about it sometimes. I don't even know what about it stuck with me, but my mind returns and returns and returns, a repeated mockery that I had to be protected from myself. The realization that I've made it this far living away from home and have failed to hurt myself as much or as badly as I had planned. In my suicide note, I told my parents I was scared of going to college in San Francisco because I knew for certain I would kill myself by jumping off that golden beacon so many others before me had fallen from. For my parents' well-being, they wanted me closer to home. And last year, every time I took buses and walked across the freeway overpass just as the sun was rising, I had to fight every nerve and muscle in my body to not climb over the fence and ruin some poor soul's car with every red ounce of my hatred for living. When I die, I want to die at sunrise. I try to tell myself that the only reason I really haven't committed myself to committing is because I don't want to be found. I don't want my first time being undressed by another person to be at the autopsy table. I haven't been able to see my favorite band play live yet. I'm scared. I'm running out of excuses. Nothing's more lonely than passing out in an emergency room bed that you've waited all night for, sitting in a cold February hospital hallway with that pitting police officer that hasn't left your side since they picked you up from campus at 11 at night. Nothing's more lonely than being woken and strapped into a stretcher with no one telling you where you're going even after you get there, and sleeping for 20 hours straight. Nothing is more lonely than not having the people you want to visit you. I still don't know if it was a mistake to tell my friend I was going to jump that night. I still don't know if I was ever angry at her for calling the police on me. I still don't know, I don't want to know, what good will it do me now? What good will it do me now?